What is going on, beautiful people? Welcome to Deadly or Dud Ultimate Edition. That's right, we're going to try something a little bit different today. We're going to take a look at every specific weapon type of a manufacturer. So for the first Ultimate Deadly or Dud, we are going to take a look at Jakobs Shotguns. So we're going to do all the uniques. So we've got the Hydra, the Striker, the Tidal Wave, the Triquetra, the Twister, and the Orphan Maker. So we'll test them all in mobbing and bossing, and then we will render a final verdict for each one at the end, and then overall. So let me explain the tier system a little bit more in depth. So we have tier 0 or S tier, which is fabled weapons effective in many situations and on many characters for mobbing, bossing, and raiding. Potentially the weapon must provide some sort of incredible utility. So this would be stuff like the Lyuda or the Interfacer. Then tier 1 or A tier, strong weapons effective at mobbing and bossing on multiple characters in many situations, but lack the raiding potential or amazing utility of tier 0 weapons. So this would be stuff like the Tatler and the Omen. Tier 2 or B tier, decent weapons effective at mobbing and potentially bossing with at least the right character, build, or setup. These weapons can be strong in specific circumstances, but lack the versatility of higher ranking weapons. So this would be stuff like the Hawkeye and the Emperor. Tier 3, or C tier, would be mediocre weapons only decent for mobbing in specific circumstances or on the right character. These weapons lack the bossing potential or versatility of higher ranking weapons. So this would be stuff like the Gub or the Unforgiven. And then tier 4, or F tier, terrible weapons almost universally useless. Unless being completely carried by a build, these weapons will almost always struggle even at mobbing, or outside the most niche of circumstances, and this would be stuff like the Rocketeer and the Wanderlust. We will mob in a different section with each one of them, and then we will boss against Wilhelm to test them all to keep it consistent in that sense, but again, we'll do different mobbing sections for some variety. Now, we are going to get started here with the Hydra, and as you can see, it has 20 pellets, and the red text says 5 heads of death. So, as you can see, when you shoot, it fires looks like 5 different spreads there, each with 4 projectiles. So for loaders and wider enemies, I've actually never used this weapon, but for loaders and other types of wider enemies, I think this is going to be really good. So we will see. Now, for other types of enemies like regular bandits, it probably would not be as good. Now, I believe the Hydra has a special critical hit modifier of plus 50%, and it drops from Rouge in the Hammerlock Hunt DLC. I think the side quest is called Big Feet. Maybe a Quentin Tarantino special there. But we will get started here with it as our first contestant. Now, I do have several different relics here. We're just going to mix and match and try some different ones out. We've got the Deputy's Badge for shotgun damage, reload speed, and fight for your lifetime. We've got a Shotgun Heart for the damage, the fight for your lifetime, and the second wind health. And we have a Jakobs Allegiance Relic for the magazine size and the accuracy recovery. Now, I think accuracy recovery basically makes the bloom return quicker. So you can see it's returning really quickly. Let's swap back over to the Deputy's Badge to see for sure. Yeah, I think it is making it return quicker. So that could actually be pretty good because having a tighter spread on shotguns is really nice because it'll let you, land more of the pellets as critical hits. So that could potentially be pretty good. Accuracy, just like better accuracy might actually be better, but the Jakobs Allegiance Relic unfortunately cannot roll with just accuracy. It can have magazine size, accuracy recovery, and recoil reduction, I believe. But we'll test that out. Again, we'll mix and match and see here. Now again, with 0, precision is really good for shotguns. It will tighten the spread, again allowing you to land more pellets on the crit spot, so we will make sure to make a lot of use of it during these tests. And if you can, get the Jakobs sight, as this will give you more spread reduction when you sight in. Although we honestly may not even need to take advantage of that, but we will see. And you can see those groupings are super, super tight, so this should be pretty damn strong. Again, I have no idea what to expect because I've literally never used the Hydra, but we'll get started here and see how it does. All right, and again, we're going to get started with the Legendary Sniper here, which, as I mentioned, I believe I mentioned, the critical damage is bug. Okay, 1 shot, very nice. 1 shot, 1 kill potential, which is very good for shotguns. It's actually kind of a bad sign if a shotgun doesn't have them. But yeah, the critical damage is bugged and will apply to all weapon types. So the legend that's for all sniper columns, not just the legendary sniper. We'll get started with the deputy's badge. I might change the class mods up a bit too. We will see. And again, I will mob through some different areas. Melee death mark. You can also get them to stop spinning their arms that way. Yeah, again, I've mentioned this before. Oh, missed my shot there a little bit. So for those dudes, I think they're... Son of a bitch, we're getting obliterated here, damn. So see, that's what I mentioned that in my 10 tips for beginner zero players. Being spammy with the grenades can save you in a lot of situations. And then we'll have, you know, weighted drops to protect ourselves. So we gotta be careful here of this hot loader. There we go. But yeah, the dudes, oh my god, why are they so deadly? Holy shit, we've got all kinds of elemental damage coming at us. There we go. Yeah, the hot loaders, I think, may be a little bit harder to get with this weapon because you need to get closer to land all of the shots, but then when you do so, you're kind of opened up to their explosions. But yeah, you see what I mean about being spammy with the grenades. I was able to survive a lot of damage there because I was so spammy with them. Alright, so off to a bit of a rough start here, but we will recover. Now again, we will benefit from weighted drops, so that is how I'm able to be so spammy with the grenades and still not run out. But yeah, most shotguns do have one shot, one kill potential with zero, so it's a good sign to see that this one still does. But yeah, I will probably start sort of a side series to Deadly or Dud. I'll just call it Ultimate Deadly or Dud, and I'll, you know, again, all of my videos are in playlists on my channel. Nice. So feel free to check those out. The thing is with the Borderlands 2 weapon reviews, I started them and I called the series It's Better Than You Think because I was covering weapons that, you know, people kind of underestimated on OP10. And it kind of evolved past that, and eventually I wanted to cover other weapons, so I made another series called Deadliest Weapons. There are some weapons I want to cover that don't really fit into either series, that don't really fit into Deadliest Weapons or, you know, It's Better Than You Think. And the Deadly or Dud series I started for Borderlands 4, so I kind of want to keep it a part of that, you know. Ooh, almost a one-shot. We'll try a different relic at this point. What should we try? We'll try the Shotgun Heart for the extra damage and survivability bonuses, which I might need because very, very poor run so far. I mean, the weapon's performing well, just not so much me. There we go. Yeah, I mean, that is an awesome weapon. Again, I had literally never used this weapon before. I don't know why, but damn, that is awesome. Finish him off with Killing Blow. That sound is so satisfying. There's some really great sound design in this game. I mean, like on some of the sound design of the weapons themselves is not always great, but oh wow, look at that range. Okay, I'm definitely noticing the damage bonus from the Shotgun Heart. I think I do already like the Shotgun Heart better. And that's not even, you know, considering the defensive bonuses. Alright, see if we can get a bore shot here. Hey, beautiful, 2 for 1. Yeah, I don't know why I've never really used this weapon. There's just, I mean, there's just so many weapons in this game. It's hard to be, you know, intimately familiar with all of them. All right, so let's deal with this room. This is the bane of my existence oftentimes, so. Oh my god, you see what I mean, bro? I feel like I'm getting dotted by every freaking attack this run. Is it just me or what? There's like been a crap ton of hot loaders and like every single eye blast I take is dotting me, not even exaggerating. Holy shit, dude. I don't know. I don't even think it's me. I think these dudes are just locked in today. They're like, we are not being made a fool of anymore. We are fighting back today. Oh my god, that was so close. Yeah, man. Yeah, these guys, they've been putting in the work. They've been pumping iron. They've been training. These guys are leveled up. All right, hot loader here. Again, we'll try to outrange him. Side in for the tighter spread. Ah, son of a bitch. I think I was talking about the playlist, but yeah, I know some people like to browse the videos by playlist. And if I have a Deadly or Dud playlist and it's got a mix of Borderlands 4 weapon reviews and Borderlands 2 weapon reviews, that may not be what people are looking for. So, like I said, I think that's what I'll do. I'll keep It's Better Than You Think and Deadliest Weapons as their own playlists. And then just whenever a Borderlands 2 weapon doesn't fit into those, I will put it in its own Borderlands 2 Deadly or Dud playlist, separate from the Borderlands 4. So I need this dude to come down here. All right, now we are pinned between the two of them, and I don't have my deception. So this is a little unfortunate. Again, I am trying to be careful here because I don't want to get pinned between them. So because of that, it took me a little bit to kill that dude. All right, let's see if we can get a one-shot kill on him. Throw the decoy back here so he doesn't stomp. Oh, one shot. We got the one-shot kill on the super badass loader with the shotgun heart. And I guess we will try the Jakobs Allegiance relic now. We're almost through. I'm not as crazy about the Jakobs Allegiance relic. I mean, the mag size will be nice. We'll see. We'll see. I suspect it'll be, you know, one of my least liked relics for this weapon. But yeah, let me know if in future episodes of Ultimate Deadly or Dud, if you would like me to test on different characters, even though, you know, oh my gosh, I'm getting bodied by everybody here. What is going on with me today? All right, we're just gonna wait for my deception because, man, I'm getting bodied, absolutely bodied today. There we go. Shoot, I should have been able to do that faster. But yeah, let me know if you would like, you know, in the next episode of Deadly or Dud Ultimate. So we still got the one shot even with the Jakobs Allegiance relic. If you'd like to see it tested on different characters, which again will be less of a direct comparison, but it will be more variety. And I would still have, you know, a pretty good idea. But yeah, the Hydra for mobbing was amazing. So definitely a great weapon for that. And we will move on to the next one. Next up is the Striker. So the Striker does have a special critical hit modifier of plus 50%, I believe. Now this does drop from Old Slappy, who you encounter in the Slap Happy quest. I think it's the one that Sir Hammerlock gives you where you fight the Thresher who took his limbs. I believe he drops it at a 10% rate. And I think it also drops from Master Gi at a 1.7% rate. And does also World Drop. Now I have done a full review of this weapon as a standalone video as well, if you would like to check that out. Striker, I hardly know her. I'm going to, I think, use the shotgun heart with this for the extra damage, because the Striker, basically the thing you want to boost the most on it is just the raw damage, in my opinion. So that's what I'm going to do here. I think I'm going to swap to a legendary killer. The legendary sniper would still be good, but I think I'm going to try the killer for this one. So the Striker does have pretty good range for a shotgun, so we're going to try to take on the beatdown here and see if we can use that improved range to survive a little bit, you know, better. Now, again, the beatdown's super tough with all the elemental damage. Let's try this. Oh my gosh, did you see that? Holy crap, that's insane range. And let's try the legendary sniper, actually, which will give us more points in precision. Oh my gosh, that's absurd for a shotgun. Holy crap. So yeah, the Striker has really good range for a shotgun, as you can see. It does have kind of less damage than some of the other top ones, but man, that range is crazy. And these guys have the same idea as me. They do not want to close distance. Holy crap. Holy crap. Now, I have done a full review of this if you want to check this out as well. Oh my gosh. Nice. This is like this thing is a sniper. Oh, one slag, one shot, no slag. Beautiful. Oh god, oh god. Is that might be all it takes to down us. Again, the beatdown is so ridiculous. Yeah. A single round is enough to dot us and kill us, so we're gonna have to get back to cover here. You just cannot mess around on the beatdown. We'll also get more points in one shot, one kill with this. Nice. Yeah, I think the Striker is in particular really good on Zero because it gets the great accuracy and range. And then Zero can also massively boost the damage, so I really like this thing on Zero. It's a pretty underrated weapon. Oh, I couldn't see that guy. There we go, nice. Oh god. Oh god. Yeah, I need them to come over here some. Again, you just cannot be out of cover in this place and survive. Oh gosh, really? I missed my shot. That was my bad. Bad shot placement. Yeah, so usually the enemies on the beatdown will rush you. These guys, they just aren't. Like, most of them are hanging back, and that's very uncommon for enemies in this map. Turn around, come on. Oh, by the way, if you recently saw my Cobra review, I actually finally got my Cobra drop. I had probably done over 100 beatdown runs on my channel, and I finally got my Cobra drop on the Cobra review, which was amazing. I was so happy. Shit, we're slagged. It's very bad. Yeah, we're dead, we're dead. Oh, that heart saved me. That heart might have saved me. But there's shock damage coming for us. I need my deception. Oh god, come on, deception. Okay, we're good, we're good. You see what I mean about spamming your grenades? It can prevent you from getting downed in a lot of situations. Alright, I missed that, dude. My grenade went way the hell back there. Nice. Holy crap, man. Moxie cheeks. But yeah, the thing with Zero with a Striker is because of his damage bonuses, it basically gets to have good damage and amazing range. So I really like this thing on him. Oh my gosh, we almost one-shot that dude. And on the beatdown, more than anything, you need range. I usually prefer to snipe through here, but I just thought for some variety we would try it with a shotgun. Come on, come on. But yeah, I finally got my Cobra drop on my Cobra review. I was so happy. There's a blue sniper, but not a Cobra. Alright, we got dotted again. There's so much freaking elemental damage on the beatdown. We'll do this. We will juke this guy out and move over here. Nice, one shot. Now we can deal with this guy. Slag him up. Can we hit him from back here? Oh, we can. Yeah, that range is just so impressive for a shotgun. Nice. I really like the Striker, man. It's a ton of fun. Not the hardest hitting weapon, but in Zero's hands, I really like this weapon. Oh god, I saw shock damage. No slag, one shot. Unfortunately, my grenades will not slag him. I was waiting on them to slag him, and they just would not. Alright, so he's got shock damage. We gotta be really careful. Let's disrupt him with an execute. It's another great way to use it. Take him out. But yeah, I thought about if you guys want, I can show some like older, funnier pictures on the face reveal. I've got some like really funny prom pictures and stuff from back in high school. I mean, the pictures themselves aren't maybe that funny, but the story behind them is really funny. So like, I might have talked about this on one of the Borderlands 4 live streams. So, my senior year... Alright, let me take this guy out. I went to prom senior year with the prom queen, actually. And it's... So, I did not really have dating success in high school until my senior year. And... it's so funny, because I didn't really know how to date at all, but she kind of instigated things with me. And... I guess she felt like I wasn't moving fast enough, and so she, what do they call that, monkey branching, whenever someone only moves on to a new partner, or somebody, they wait until they have like their next partner lined up before they dump their current partner, you know what I mean? She kind of did that to me and then did that away from me. But the funny thing is, like, we were supposed to go to this concert together, and then, you know, when she stopped dating me and started dating this other dude, she asked me if I still wanted to go to the concert and if I still wanted to go to prom with her. It was just really weird. So like, I didn't want to do either one. I definitely was not going to go to the concert because that was like out of town and it was going to be, you know, a long, I just did not want to do that. But she had a new boyfriend, but I think he was too old to go to prom. So I think there was like a limit. I might be wrong about that. There may, I don't know why. So maybe her mom told her she had to still go with me or something. I don't know. The whole thing was really weird though. And she acted like super pissy towards me, even though she was the one who, you know, basically broke things off with me. I guess maybe she was pissed because I didn't want to go to the concert anymore, and her dad wouldn't let her go if I wasn't going. I don't know why her new boyfriend just didn't go, though. But anyway, we still ended up going to prom together, and it was super awkward, and I still have some of the pictures. No hard feelings to her, though. We were teenagers. We do lots of stupid things when we're teenagers. No hard feelings against her. And no, this is not, I talked about in a Borderlands 4 stream how one of my best friends ended up sleeping with my girlfriend. This is actually a different, this is not the same thing. Although, I am pretty sure that she did actually sleep with one of my friends during this whole ordeal. And I didn't actually notice it at the time somehow. I was so oblivious, but in hindsight, like the signs are so obvious. I can't remember if I think I might have covered this in one of the streams already, but yeah. If you guys want to see those awkward photos, I still have them. I mean, obviously, I can't show their faces. I could show my face. I couldn't show their faces, though. I wouldn't want to do that. And again, I don't have any hard feelings over it. It's just funny to look back on, but just always weird to me that she was pissy towards me, even though she was the one who basically broke things off with me. Bit of a tangent there, but semi-related to the face reveal video I'm doing soon. And again, I do apologize for that taking so long. Again, I was sick, and then I've had the issues getting the stuff I ordered here. So there's enemies behind me, so let's be very careful here. Nice. Yeah, this thing is excellent for quickly taking out like the weaker mobs. Obviously, like the damage is not as good for the tankier enemies compared to stuff like the quad. But this thing is just super ammo efficient and has great range for a shotgun, so it's just a very fun weapon. Nice. Yeah, it's, did we get down? We got downed once, so that's a pretty good performance. It's almost impossible to not get downed at least once on the frickin' beatdown, especially using a shotgun. So I think you can definitely see the benefits of the great range of this thing here. And again, it's just a ton of fun to use. Yeah, that range is just awesome. Again, we do have 10 points in precision, which is helping a lot. All right, let's just blow them up. Those dudes are kind of annoying to deal with. It's part of the reason I don't do the beatdown very much either, is because the bikers are annoying with most regular guns, so I just end up taking them out with like a Norfleet or something. So I'm gonna let him swivel back up here before we go down there, so I don't have to deal with him and all the other mobs at the same time. But yeah, I don't know if that girl's mom just like told her she's not allowed to not go to prom with her new boyfriend and she still had to go with me, or I can't remember if maybe he was too old. Again, I cannot remember, but the whole situation was very awkward. And in hindsight, I don't know why I didn't just break off going to prom with her too. Because I was actually, after this happened, I started talking to another girl too, who I actually started dating that night. So I don't know, man. Teenagers be crazy. All right, but there's the striker running through the beatdown. We only got downed once, so I think that's a very good, performance. It's definitely good for mobbing. Probably is going to be the best on Zero because of his damage bonuses, which kind of help make up for its biggest downside, which is kind of less damage. But yeah, super effective for mobbing, and we will move on to the next contestant. Next up, we have the Twister. Now, the Twister does drop from Triple O at a 33% rate. And if you are farming him in Ultimate Vault Hunter mode, make sure to fast travel to Candlerack's Crag first, because this will cause Triple O to have a 50% chance to drop either a Hawkeye or an Interfacer. I will link to Mr. TX01's guide on this if you want to check that out. I do also have a full review on the Twister if you would like to check that out. And it does also deal plus 40% grenade splash damage, I believe, so definitely try it out on Axton. Again, I used Axton in the full weapon review, I believe. Again, if you would like to check that out. Twister, I hardly know her. So luckily with the Twister, we can use a shotgun, which will be nice. Nice having a Jakobs weapon with an element. And I'll probably just run the legendary sniper again. Again, we'll get one shot, one kill on every other shot. I want to test velocity on the Twister. I'm still not 100% sure if I like it or not. So we will use this run as an opportunity to test that. So we will get started here. Got an ironclad right off the bat. Oh, beautiful damage. Nice. Now, I do like the Twister for loaders too, because, you can, the projectiles will fan out and kind of hit more of their crit spots, but it's performing well against these guys so far too. Whenever I can actually hit them. There we go. Nice. Oh, there's a dude behind me. Yeah, making good use of your radar. Secret technique. For me, sometimes. Oh, yeah, I remember what I was talking about earlier. Oh, beautiful. Yeah, maybe I should just reload. Oh, damn, I got downed. So I made a mistake there. I stood in the direction of my decoy. Obviously, you do not want to do that because you're not actually invincible during deception. So, yeah, still on brand that I'm not performing super well today. That's okay, that's okay. Yeah, it's nice to be able to use the bone with this. Damn, nice. Yeah, so far, velocity doesn't seem to be having causing us any issues. But we can also reload so quickly that we should just do it to get the one-shot, one-kill bonus on every shot, you know? Nice. Yeah, I really like the Twister, man. This thing is a ton of fun. I need to farm one. Maybe I could do that on a stream. It's not one I've actually ever legitimately obtained. Now, this is one with a vertical grip, but honestly, I think any version of the Twister is going to be really good. Oh, by the way, the Twister is a weapon that has its own dedicated review if you want to check that out. But we'll see how it performs, you know. I wanted this to be complete, so we'll see how it performs against these other unique Jakobs shotguns. Nice, there we go. So there's definitely a learning curve with this weapon. I think this is a weapon that you could put a lot of hours in to really learn the nuances of how to properly use it and to get those projectiles to line up against the enemy. But yeah, I think pretty much any version of this weapon is going to be really good. Obviously, it drops from triple O, which is kind of a pain in the ass to farm. Now, if you are interested... Oh, shoot. So see, yeah, sometimes when my shots are off, it's not doing any damage. Again, that is because of me, not because of the weapon. Yeah, if you're going to farm triple O and you're playing... I mean, if you're going to farm a Twister, I would recommend not doing it until you get to max level. I know some people just like farming. I personally do not have much patience for it. Damn! Holy crap, look how good this is. Yeah, velocity is not hurting this at all. I mean, so it doesn't seem to be. Nice. Yeah, if you're going to farm a Twister, I would recommend not doing it until max level, whether you want to play at, you know, level 80 or OP10, because it's going to take forever to farm from triple O. Yeah, but what I was saying earlier about the sound design, a lot of the sound design in this game is really good. I mean, maybe not necessarily like the weapon sound design sometimes is not so great, but the stuff like Killing Blow, Kunai, a lot of that stuff is really great. I mean, just listen to that. So nice. Alright, I need these guys to close distance a little bit. This is kind of one of the drawbacks of using a shotgun is the range. Now, of course, during regular gameplay, I would have a rangier weapon right now, but unfortunately for right now, I'm just kind of stuck waiting on the shotgun, waiting on deception to close distance here. Ooh, nice, damn. Oh, did he's gonna kill me. Oh my god, those freaking Nova shields, dude. That happened to me in my Infinity review. Those freaking Nova shields, man. They actually keep getting me. This dude is... Oh, we made it. Ooh, god, that was close. Yeah, that's like twice now I've actually got downed by one of those stupid shields. Alright. Let's try to get... I'm having a very hard time getting my mojo back. Okay. We're focusing in. We're gonna do better starting right now. Maybe we'll get something good out of this chest. Again, only having a shotgun Oh, holy shit, look at all those grenades, damn. Only having a shotgun can be kind of hard to navigate more open areas. Which again, during regular gameplay, I would also have a long range option. Wow, what? That is the most shots it has ever taken the Slag Pimpernel to slag something in the history of the game. What? That is absurd. Okay, so see right here, we are just gonna have to... Since I don't have a long range option, we are going to have to wait for my deception to close distance here. And then even still, man, there's so many enemies. This is going to be tricky. Alright, let's try this. Plus, I'm kind of low on grenades, too. Usually when you're making a riskier play, you can kind of get around that by throwing extra grenades, but there's so many enemies here. Shit, come on, come on, come on. Oh, I was placing my shots horribly, so a lot of those, that took me more shots to kill them than it should have. Yeah, again, there's like a sweet spot with this weapon, and I'm just not really good enough to fully understand it yet. I mean, scavengers are just really tanky in general, but damn. I've also been spamming my shots way too much, so we are burning through ammo. Shouldn't be too hard to get it back, though. I missed every single kunai on that, dude. Gosh. There we go, there we go. Nice. Yeah, the inconsistent damage is, again, just a result of my inexperience with the weapon. It's not really an indictment of the weapon itself. There we go, nice. It definitely has one shot, one kill potential, so I'm going to pick this up to get grenade ammo back. Again, do remember you can pick up that stuff off the ground. But yeah, just listen to like the kunai sounds too. A lot of that stuff is super satisfying. Again, even if the weapon sounds themselves weren't great, they really improved those in like Borderlands 3 though. But yeah, guys, I am sorry for the lack of streams lately. I've been pretty bad sick for a while now, like going on a month, and it's taking me forever to get over it. I've had to go back to the doctor, and I'm on some new meds now. Nice, one shot. They taste really freaking bitter. Last night I dropped one into my Diet Pepsi, which I can't taste, by the way, which really pisses me off. It's like sometimes that's like the one thing I look forward to, and then when I'm sick I can't freaking taste it. But I dropped it into the can, and then I had to cut the can open to get it out, and it was all bittery and you know, watery, and that was not very tasty. Yeah. I gotta retreat here. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Yeah, especially the scavengers, I'm having a very hard time hitting. But anyway, yeah, those pills taste horrible. But as soon as I, you know, feel good enough, I'm going to be streaming again. I'm really sorry for the lack of streams. It's just for the like regular videos. Obviously, I can just work on them when I feel like it. But for streams, you kind of need to do those for several hours at a time. So it's harder when I'm not feeling as good. But we will be back to those soon. And we are coming up on the 1-year anniversary of the channel. I'm going to do a special video for that, which will be the face reveal. Again, I am sorry to Zane and Peter that it has taken me so long, but it was a combination of several factors. For one, okay, nice. So if you can actually use this at long range. If you have a really good understanding of the projectile pattern, which I'm dialing in, nice. You can use this at surprisingly good range. But yeah, for the 1-year anniversary, I will do the face reveal video. And again, I meant to do it sooner, but with you know, I got sick, and then I've been having other issues too, so it's just taken me a while to get around to it. So I do apologize for that. Nice. Yeah, I feel that this is a weapon with a very high learning curve, and that once you master it, it's just a beast. I mean, you can see I'm getting some really great results with it. Occasionally, it's not as great, but that's, again, because I'm not always great at properly placing the shots. Oh, beautiful. All right, now let's see. I think I will take on Captain Flint. We'll see how this thing can do against him real fast. Where is he? There he is. Why is he not up on his pedestal? Oh, sometimes he gets aggroed early. God, I can't slag him. Yeah, again, velocity does hurt the slag pimp. I mean, without velocity, the slag pimp is almost basically 100% slag chance. With velocity, it's a little bit worse. I mean, you can kind of compensate for that by aiming down so that the projectiles have a better chance of blooming into the target, but that can be kind of hard to do consistently. All right, there we go. We got him slag, though. See what we can do. Dude, God, that attack pisses me off so bad. The range on that is just fucking insane. All right, but our damage there is good. Nice. Come on, come on, come on. Yeah, we're gonna have to, we may get down here, but that'll be okay. We're gonna spam our grenades. Again, you can survive a lot of encounters like this by spamming your nades. Nice, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so that is the mobbing section there, though. So the Twister, very good mobber, and then we will move on to the next mobbing section. All right, next contestant is the Tidal Wave. Now, I have literally never used this. Croat has requested this for a very long time, so hopefully this video makes Croat happy. So, as you can see, it shoots projectiles in a line that bounce, and to obtain the Tidal Wave, you do have to complete the Uncle Teddy side quest, and you have to side with Hyperion, I believe. So you probably don't get this a lot because, for one, nobody wants to side with Hyperion, but you also get the Lady Fist for, you know, siding with the Teddies, I think they're called. So, in fact, I have literally never used it, so we'll get started here in the first round of this slaughter and see how it does. I have no idea what to expect. We're gonna get started with the Legendary Sniper and the Deputy's Badge. Alright, so hopefully for loaders, it should be pretty good because of the, can hit, you know, their crit spots. Hey, nice, nice. Again, I have literally no expectations, literally never used this weapon, so no idea what it can do. Oh. Looks like I need to get a little bit closer there. Oh, gosh. Okay, that was mostly on me. So let's try to reposition and do better here. All right, what can we do here? Oh, beautiful, 2 for 1. Beautiful. Can we do it again? Probably not. Yeah, it looks like the damage is very shot placement dependent, if that makes sense. Nice. But yeah, when you place the shots properly, man, that's very good damage. All right, we can get a good bore shot here, I think. Come on, come on. Almost got them both. All right, come on, come on. Yeah, again, Shotgun Zero, whenever you don't have a long-range option, it's just kind of hard to navigate sometimes. Messed up my shot placement there. So hopefully he will come down here. I think I need him to come down here to do more damage. This is part of the reason I don't do this map a lot, because sometimes the enemies will just stay up there. All right, I guess I can jump up here, actually. Let's flank him. Yeah, I'm having a hard time placing the shots better against the larger guys. Against the regular sized ones, I was able to, but I'm really struggling to place the shots against the larger ones. We got some humanoid enemies here, or human, I should say. Nice. Try a rangier shot again. Yeah, oh, that was okay, but yeah, looks like you do want to be pretty close up with this. You know, which makes sense. It is a shotgun. Oh god, oh god. So I was about to attack those dudes, but then those other enemies spawned, so that pushed me back a little bit. So let's try this. Did we get them both? Oh, we got them both. Nice. Oh, wow. Nice. Yeah, I'm locking this thing. Again, it's a weapon I have literally never used, so I had no idea what to expect. But I know Croat likes this weapon. Croat has requested this weapon over and over and over again, so hopefully Croat is happy. Nice. Yeah, this thing is a lot of fun. Looks nice, too. Very nice skin. I think the community patch replaces this weapon with the flare, is it? This might be a little bit hairy. Oh, holy shit. We one-shot that dude. Damn. Okay, so this is, again, probably a weapon with a bit of a learning curve, or a weapon that you do need to get a bit of a feel for, because you can see when you place the shots a certain way, it deals massive damage. And you can kind of use it at a surprising range, too, if you can get those shots, the projectiles to land. Nice. All right, let's... I was gonna go for the bore shot, but he's moving. Oh my gosh, holy crap. Okay, wow. I am sorry to Croat that I disrespected this thing for so long. Wow, this thing is good. Nice. I mean, again, it does have a bit of a learning curve. I mean, a lot of weapons in this game do. And they have, you know, specific ways that you need to shoot them to deal the most damage and stuff. But wow, yeah, that was very good for mobbing, at least. All right, comrades, next contestant is the Orphan Maker. Now, this is a popular one, but to tell you the truth, I'm not a huge fan of the Orphan Maker. Now, I'll talk about that here in a second, but as you can see, this is one with a vertical grip, so it has 4 projectiles, and you really want to get that vertical grip and the Jakobs grip if at all you can. Now, this weapon does drop, it's a quest reward for completing the Message in a Bottle quest in Oasis. So if you do what you get it, that is where you'll have to go. Now, I think this is used in raiding a bit for Sal. I'm not 100% sure about that. Sal players can let me know. And this weapon does 5% self-damage when you shoot. And Zero can bypass that with Two Fang. So when Two Fang activates, you won't take the self-damage. And sometimes even if you just shoot quickly enough, it won't happen. So I'm going to have to wait for my deception to go up there. But this weapon is very part dependent. You really need the vertical grip. Like most weapons in this game really are not that part dependent, but this is one of them that is. Because again, the vertical grip will take it from 2 projectiles to 4, which is obviously a huge bonus. And then again, so see, I just killed myself with the self-damage. So you got to be so careful with it. And I feel like there's just a lot of shotguns that would do similar damage, but without the downside of, you know, potentially killing you. Especially on Zero. I mean, you could argue that with Two Fang, it has better synergy on Zero. But on the other hand, Zero is very fragile, and he already has good damage, so do you really need to be taking extra damage whenever you could just use, you know, a quad or even like a coach gun for similar results? Now, that is not to crap on the weapon. The damage of this weapon does speak for itself, for sure. So see, I have to retreat. I can't shoot right now because my shield is down. So I'll kill myself. So I'm gonna get pushed way back here, and I'll have to try to slowly fight my way back up. So we'll see what we can do to this big guy. So that was big damage there. We can pick that up for ammo. Yes, I'm just... Ah, man. I really should have spec'd out a frickin' velocity. It is killing me, the worse slagging ability with frickin' the Pimpernel because of velocity. That's why I usually don't take it. But yeah, again, the damage on this is awesome. It's just not... I'm just personally not a huge fan of the weapon. Although the skin is really nice, I will say that. So see, if I was using a different weapon, I could potentially risk coming up here to kill these guys. Nice, good damage there. But again, because the weapon does self-damage, you just can't make riskier plays. So I gotta wait for my shield to recharge again, and I'm getting flanked. Alright, so I'm gonna stay in deception as long as I can to get my shield back up before I shoot. Again, I'm gonna have to wait for my shield to recover. So personally, I'm not a huge fan of this weapon, but you know, let me know what you guys think. Do you really like it, or... I think Sal can offhand it to avoid the self-damage. Now, I may not do the full Southpaw Seaman power here. This video is running very long. I don't want it to go over an hour, so I may not finish the whole area. Yeah, there's One. Alright, so I do need to wait for my deception. Because again, this self-damage plus fighting a mini-boss, not going to be a good combo. Man, One is just so tanky. That is insane. Oh, so see, I just downed myself with the self-damage and his damage together. So we may have to get a second wind with something else here. Okay, gosh, we finally got him. And he dropped the judge. I have literally never used that. So see, shooting there was risky because of the self-damage. Although, again, not denying the damage is really good. I just really, really hate the self-damage of this weapon. And 5% doesn't sound like much, but again, especially for Zero, where he is more fragile, you really don't want it, and it can also just stop your shield from recharging. So personally, I actually kind of hate this weapon. I'm not neutral. I actually kind of hate it. Nice. Nice. So I'll probably finish this section here and then move on. Again, the video's taking quite a while. I don't want it to go over an hour. That may be kind of hard to avoid at this point. Nice. But yeah, I think that's enough. You can see the damage for mobbing is very good. It's just... the question is, should you use this whenever the self-damage is pretty debilitating in a lot of situations? And there are other shotguns which will deal great damage but not have the self-damage. So see, we just one-shot an Ironclad, so... Again, not denying that the damage is excellent, but I think that's enough for here, and we'll go ahead and move on to the final contestant. All right, and that's the final contestant here. We do have the Triquetra. I think that's how you say that. If you see the symbol here on the barrel, apparently that is a Triquetra, and it just shoots in that pattern. Now, I have literally never used this weapon, so I'm not sure what to expect. Now, if you do want to get it, it does drop as a quest reward for completing the the end of the Rainbow quest in the Clan Wars quest line. So we'll get started here. Now, I probably won't run through the whole Bloodshot Stronghold here. Because, again, I don't want the video to go too much over an hour if I can help it. Oh, my gosh. There we go. Now, I will fully admit, I have not played spectacularly today. I've had some bad slag luck. Like, obviously, I'm spec'd into precision or velocity, which hurts the Slag Pimpernel slagging ability. But it's been, like, even my grenades, too. Man, they've just not been cooperating. Just trying the range there. I knew that was pushing it. But if you compare that to like the Striker was much better at that range. So I really like the Striker. That was kind of annoying that my kunai did not hit him there. But you can already see the damage is very good. Now, I think actually I may have used this weapon a bit in a stream, which I need to get back to doing. Again, I felt really bad for about a month now. It's taking me forever to get over this bout. Nice. Yeah, so these do have one-shot, one-kill potential, even, you know, outside of Deception, which is really nice. Now, you might have noticed something with a lot of these Jakobs shotguns. They're really powerful as, you know, in their niche as part of an overall build. But at least for Zero, they are kind of hard to use on their own. And now, again, during normal gameplay, that wouldn't be a problem, because in normal gameplay, you have, you know, all your tools. But for a weapon review, they've been quite hard to use. It's hard to move through maps with only them because you can't clear the faraway enemies as easily. And then you also, for most Jakobs shotguns, they don't benefit from a Bone of the Ancients, so you don't have that to move, you know, more easily either. So for their role, they are very good, but as overall, you know, weapons on their own, they do have a couple of downsides. Nice, but again, the damage speaks for itself. That damage is amazing. Now, I really like, one of my favorite ways to play like a build like this is like a shoddy sniper build, which uses shotguns and snipers. I might have mentioned this already. I covered that in my Shotgun Zero build video that has like 4 different builds in it. It's a lot of fun, and obviously it wouldn't have this issue of struggling to deal with the you know, long range aspects. And it's not necessarily fair to penalize the weapon for that, because obviously you're meant to take advantage of a full build. It's just, you know, probably something I should mention, because I'm sure you've noticed it's been kind of hard for me to progress. Now, alternatively, you can just move really slowly and just do this and just wait for Deception every time. But ultimately, it would still be better to just, you know, make full use of your build. There we go. Yeah, so we'll do a bit more here, and then we will go do the bossing portion. Again, I'm going to try to keep the video under an hour. An hour at the most, I guess. Now, again, a lot of enemies will rush you, and when enemies rush you when you have a Jakobs shotgun, they're basically just, you know, rushing to their death. So we just one-shot a Bone Crusher, not in Deception. So this weapon is performing very well. I mean, all of these Jakobs shotguns are very good for mobbing, at the least. So we will see the final verdict. We'll have to boss to see that. But for mobbing, these have all been excellent. The Orphan Maker was probably my least favorite, again, just because I don't feel like the damage is worth the self-damage, you know what I mean? So hopefully some of these guys will rush us, because if we just rush up there, we're almost certainly just going to die. So see, I was too far away to crit him when he raised his shield there. There we go. Alright, now let's try this. Oh, I didn't mean to de-aggro them, whoops. Well, missed my shot anyway. I need him to flinch or he's gonna kill me. Why won't you flinch? Why won't you flinch? God, why did it take him so long to flinch? Usually you can throw grenades at them to make them flinch. This is another kind of downside here. With these enemies that you have to flank to crit, I'm having to wait to Deception to do so, and again, not having the bone is kind of hurting us there. But we got it done. So yeah, we'll just finish this room, and then we will move on to the bossing portion, and then we will render the final verdict for the shotguns individually and then overall. Really struggling to place my shots there, man. There we go. Alright, so I think that's enough for the mobbing. So pretty much all of these Jakobs shotguns have been good for mobbing. And like I said, we will go do the bossing, and then we will render the final verdict. Alright, comrades, and we will get started with the bossing section here. We'll get started with the Hydra. Now, we will try to avoid his windmill attack. He does like to knock you back, which can be a little annoying for shotguns. Oh, beautiful damage. We might get downed here. Okay, that was fantastic damage. Holy crap. All right, we don't have to kill these guys. But yeah, Hydra, clearly very good at bossing. So the Hydra is probably one where it's going to be kind of target specific. For enemies that are wide enough to land all of those shots on, I think it's going to be very good. It will probably be a bit less effective for smaller enemies like regular bandits. So I would honestly say the Hydra is probably a tier 2 weapon.
Hey, that's pretty good.
The thing is, like, I don't think it's good enough to be tier 1 because, again, I think the effectiveness will drop off whenever you can't, you know, against smaller targets like regular bandits. But it is good at bossing, so it is, in my opinion, a tier 2 weapon, which is very respectable. All right, now for the Striker. So this will have better range, so hopefully we won't get windmilled away. Let's see what we can do here. Nice, pretty good, pretty good. Not as good as the Hydra for sure. There we go, there we go. Ah, shoot. Yeah, so Wilhelm has some anti-shotgun tactics as he does like to run away from you. So as you can see, damage is pretty good. Obviously not as good as it was with the Hydra. Go ahead and try to take him out here. But again, its advantage is in its range. So kind of expected there. Nice. But that was still a good performance. So the thing is, I don't think it's going to be as good at bossing on other characters. Because again, Zero can kind of shore up the lower damage. But to be a tier 2 weapon, it just needs to be good at bossing on at least one character. And in my opinion, the Striker is also a tier 2 weapon.
Hey, that's pretty
again,
good.
I don't think it would be as good as you know, stuff like the Tatler and the Omen on other characters, which I feel like those weapons have more versatility. But, you know, as you can see, it's a pretty good bossing weapon, at least for Zero, and that is enough to get it a tier 2 ranking. All right, next up we have the Twister. Let's get started here. We do have the shock bone equipped, so we'll see how it does. We'll try to use it at range. Nice, nice, nice. I'm trying to get most of those, ooh, there we go, there we go. Just experimenting with the shot placement a little bit here. Okay, he got unslagged. Slag him again. Nice. Yeah, the Twister is one that has definitely a learning curve, but it is a very, very powerful weapon. And it does also have grenades. Oh, nice. Okay, so Twister, good at mobbing, good at bossing, and I think the Twister will be good at bossing on multiple characters because, again, it's got the grenade splash as well, so like Axton can boost it. I know like a lot of Gauge players like this weapon. So honestly, I think the Twister has an argument for being a tier 1 weapon. Meaning it is good at mobbing and bossing on multiple characters in many different situations and scenarios. I don't think it can quite call it tier 0 with like the Lyuda and the Interfacer, but the advantage of the Twister compared to like the Hydra and the Striker is its versatility. It's going to be good on multiple different characters, again because of the grenade splash, and I know like again Gauge players really like it, and I think there are other synergies with it too. I think Maya players really like it, so I think it's fair to call the Twister a tier 1 weapon. All right, and here we go with the Tidal Wave. Let's see what we can do here. Slag him. Try to avoid the windmill attack. He really, really likes that attack. And it is very problematic for shotguns, of course. All right, that damage is a little bit lower than I expected, honestly. Maybe the projectiles are having a hard time fitting in there. As we, I suppose, all do sometimes. There we go, that was better. There we go, there we go. Yeah, so not fantastic, but pretty good. So this is another one that's going to be a little bit difficult to rank because it's quite inconsistent. It's another one where you really need the projectiles to land a specific way to deal a lot of damage. It is better for larger targets, but we did see it was still pretty good for the smaller ones, the humanoid enemies and the surveyors. So it's a bit unwieldy, as you can see. Now with enough skill, you could make up for that. There we go. So another one that's going to be a little bit hard to rank. I think ultimately a tier 2 ranking is fair.
Hey,
now I can see that being a little bit high, but It's just, it's too good to call it a tier 3 weapon. Tier 3 weapons can't be that good at bossing, and at least against the right boss, this weapon is effective at bossing under the right circumstances. So I will give the Tidal Wave a tier 2 ranking. And at its peak, it is very good. When you can land all those projectiles, we were one-shotting some bots, and again, even the surveyors and the humanoid enemies. So I think a tier 2 ranking is fair. Now, it's not going to be tier 1 in my opinion, because it's not as versatile as most tier 1 weapons, and I think the bossing ability will not be as good on other characters. So ultimately, I think that is fair. But let me know what you think. Here we go with the Orphan Maker. Kind of dreading this one, but we'll see. We'll see how it does. All right, so he's gonna go over there and do his windmill. Okay, well, the damage is good, but I immediately take damage. And so now I'm just gonna have to wait for my shield to recharge. Yeah, man, I do not like the Orphan Maker. There we go, come on, come on, come on. Okay, so the damage is good, there we go. Man, this one is gonna be so hard to rank. So the damage of the Orphan Maker, obviously fantastic. The drawback is pretty severe. It's very, very hard to rank this weapon. I know it has niche uses in rating, so basically I don't want to call it a tier 0 weapon. Just because it has like niche uses in rating, I don't think puts it on the level of like, again, the Lauda and the Interfacer. On the other hand, maybe tier 1 is the best placement for it because it's, you know, I know Sal, people like to use it on Sal. It's got that extra synergy on Zero where, you know, Two-Fang will make it not do the self damage. It's a very hard one to rank. Again, the raw damage is amazing, but the self damage is pretty significant. I feel like calling it a tier 2 weapon would be too low. It's also very part dependent. If you don't have the vertical grip and the Jakobs grip, it's, you know, really going to be a lot worse. So I'm very torn between tier 1 and tier 2 with this weapon. So I have to ask myself, is this on the level of like the Tattler and the Omen? And at its peak, it is. But without perfect parts, it's going to be quite a bit worse. And again, compared to those weapons, it's got the drawbacks of the self-damage. So tier 2 feels a little too low. I guess I will begrudgingly call the Orphan Maker a tier 1. No, man, I don't know. Because like the damage is pretty close to the Hydra. But I guess this is more consistent than the Hydra because it doesn't need wider enemies. This works well on skinnier and wider enemies. Okay, I will begrudgingly call the Orphan Maker a tier 1 weapon. I'm going to let I know it has niche uses in rating, so that is going to be the factor that is going to allow it to be a tier 1 weapon for me. It's a begrudging rating. I want to call it tier 2, but I think the fact that it has such a high ceiling and the fact that it does have some uses in rating is enough to put it at a tier 1 weapon. Although again, it does come with a couple of asterisks, such as really needing specific parts and doing the self damage. But I'm pretty conflicted, but you know, let me know what you guys think about the Orphan Maker. All right, and finally we have the Triquetra here. So let's get up here, throw this here, travel with execute. Yeah, depending on his behavior, it can drastically alter how good these, you know, weapons are going to be. Again, that is a little surprising. I was expecting the damage to be better than that. Not that it's bad, but some of these other shotguns were doing even better. Come on. There we go, there we go. It's picking up a bit there. Yeah, Wilhelm, again, he's got a lot of anti-shotgun mechanics here. So not one of the better performances compared to the other shotguns, but it is definitely performing well enough to be considered good at bossing, in my opinion. There we go. All right, so the Triquetra, I think, is pretty straightforward to rank. It's good for, you know, a wide variety of situations. It's probably not going to be good for bossing on a lot of characters. I don't think it's going to be a tier 1 weapon. I think tier 2 is fair for the Triquetra.
Hey,
again, meaning it is good at
good.
mobbing on multiple characters, basically, and good at bossing, at least on the right character or in the right situation. Again, I don't think it has quite tier 1 capability, but it is overall still very good. Like, if you compare it to the Twister, which was tier 1, I think the Twister is just more versatile, better in a larger variety of situations. The Triquetra is just straightforward, good, good for mobbing, pretty good for bossing, but not quite good enough to be tier 1 in my humble opinion. Alright, so the overall verdict on the shotguns, on the Jakobs shotguns, obviously they were very, very good. All of them are good for mobbing, quite a few of them are good for bossing. The Twister is probably the best one, simply because of its versatility. It does have a learning curve. It is one where you kind of need to get a feel for how to use it. But once you do, it's just so good. Again, it's good on many characters. It's got the grenade splash. It's got the projectiles, which it can be used at long range once you master it. I think the Twister is probably the best one, but they were all good. So the Triquetra, Twister, Tidal Wave, Orphan Maker, Hydra, again, Striker, all good weapons in my opinion. And they are, of course, going to be deadly. Jakobs shotguns are most certainly not duds. There are some sort of drawbacks to consider. Again, depending on the scenario, you definitely want a long-range option to complement them. But I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I mean, they're shotguns. They're supposed to excel at close range. And Jakobs shotguns certainly do that. And some of them, like the Striker and the Twister, can even be better at long range too. Probably my least favorite is the Orphan Maker, even though, again, its damage is undeniable. But, you know, let me know what you guys think about Jakobs shotguns. I think in the next one, I will use multiple different characters just for some variety. Again, it won't be as direct of a comparison between each of the weapons, but, you know, I think it's still good enough to make an educated statement about them. But, you know, let me know what you guys think. And also let me know, would you rather me do the mobbing and bossing on each weapon together? Or would you rather me do it like this, where you get to compare them all directly, how they are bossing, you know, one after another, so you get a better visual comparison? Just let me know what you think about that. I'll probably change the format of the next episode up. But thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. And if not, well, you're already goated for making it this far. Extra special thank you to my wonderful members. You guys rock. Most importantly, stay safe and be here next time. Alright guys, and ultimately, I think I changed my mind about the Orphan Maker and the Hydra, because considering they can be used for raiding on Sal, I think they deserve a higher placement. I'm just not very familiar with Sal, so I'm not 100% sure about that, but, you know, ultimately let me know what you think. Ultimately, weapons that are good at raiding are supposed to be in tier 0, so I think the Hydra and the Orphan Maker deserve a higher ranking considering that, although it's still kind of hard to place them with the Lyuda and the Interfacer, which are just that good. But maybe, you know, you would just argue the Lyuda and the Interfacer are higher in tier 0. But, you know, by the criteria of tier 0, the Hydra and the Orphan Maker they deal great damage, they're good at bossing, they're good at mobbing, and they even have utility in raiding, so I should have called them tier 0 weapons ultimately. Again, not the best Sal player. At the end of the day, you guys let me know. And one thing I briefly touched on but didn't fully mention was the fact that most Jakobs weapons cannot be elemental, which does hurt their, you know, viability a bit compared to other powerful weapons that can also come in different elements, which will get the element matching bonus, and they can be used with a Bone of the Ancients. So it doesn't ruin the weapons at all or anything, but it does hurt the ranking a little bit in my opinion, at least compared to other weapons. But ultimately, they were pretty hard to rank, not in the sense that they're good. I mean, they're all good, so they're all very easy to rank in that sense, but they're hard to rank against each other. They each have certain, like, downsides, like maybe they're hard to use against certain enemies, or they can't be elemental, or, you know, they have downsides like the Orphan Maker, or like the Hydra's, you know, shot pattern. So overall, kind of hard to rank. I'm sure there'll be a lot of disagreements. You guys let me know. But at the end of the day, regardless of which one you think deserves to be considered the best or the worst, they are all very good. Peace.